This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, we speak with a representative from the Anthracite Region Center for Independent Living about how to make life easier on a day-to-day basis for those living with disabilities. It's the middle point of the week and you're watching FYI on SSPTV. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Ken Karen. Here's our headlines from FYI News 13 and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. Hazleton police are investigating an armed robbery. It happened just around 5:40 yesterday afternoon. According to police, the suspect entered Domino's Pizza at 800 North Church Street, brandished a handgun, and demanded money from store employees. The suspect then removed an undetermined amount of cash and took off on foot. Anyone who may have witnessed the incident or has any information is asked to call Hazleton Police at 570-459-4940. Meanwhile, the same scenario happened just a few hours later in the city. This time, the armed robber struck at Craig's Food Mart at 517 West Broad Street in downtown Hazleton. Police say the suspect entered the store brandishing a handgun and demanded money from the store clerk. The robber then removed an undetermined amount of cash and fled on foot. Police have not given any description of this suspect or the suspect from the earlier robbery at Domino's. There is no word on whether the two are related. Anyone with information again is asked to contact Hazleton Police at 570-459-4940. Yesterday, we told you that a fugitive and drug suspect captured last week in the city is considered as one of the most wanted men in the Dominican Republic. 42-year-old Ofre Ortega Beato was taken into custody on Friday at a home on Buttonwood Street in Hazleton. Mark Ketcher, the managing editor of the Standard Speaker, our media partner, weighs in on how the paper discovered that the suspect was wanted in the Dominican Republic.
I have to start off by saying that we give 13 a lot of credit on that story because I know you guys were tipped off to it. You got video and photos of the capture. And then we followed up and found out that yes, that this gentleman had been allegedly involved in at least one murder in the Dominican Republic. So our new reporter, Maria Jaquet, did a really good job of tracking that information down. She speaks fluent Spanish, so she called the Dominican Republic and spoke to them and got some information. She also went back and talked to folks with the U.S. Marshal Service, like you had mentioned, and Homeland Security, which is apparently in charge of this case. So she did a lot of good work, got a lot of good information. We found out, yes, this man apparently was one of the most wanted men in the Dominican Republic. We finally got our hands on the court documents with the current charges, and apparently, again, allegedly, he was involved in a heroin trade along with some other people. So he was taken into custody here for those charges, but most likely will have to answer to the others down the line.
The investigation into last Friday's capture is being conducted by U.S. Homeland Security. The story of a disabled 13-year-old girl in California who was turned away from getting a manicure made its rounds on the internet recently. The girl was going out with her mother to celebrate after undergoing chemotherapy. The establishment that refused her service did later apologize. Lisa Sugart talked recently with a representative from the Anthracite Region Center for Independent Living about the challenges people with disabilities face.
What was your reaction when you saw this article? It was all over Facebook and everywhere, and people were very upset to see that this young girl was turned away.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I wasn't surprised. I sincerely doubt that anyone that I work with was surprised. We were concerned that it made such a big impact on Facebook, because what we found is that people are uncomfortable a lot of times around someone with a disability. And a lot of times, instead of saying, how can we make this work? What can we do to help? People put up a barrier of fear and automatically say no, or they don't invite someone, or they don't include someone. And for us, it's sort of almost everyday occurrence. We see this quite regularly. We see this in malls. We see this in restaurants. We see this in schools still to this day somewhat. And it's concerning, but I think people need to realize that disability is a natural part of the human condition. We are all, to be perfectly honest, 3 seconds away from a disability, as the saying goes. You could step off a curb in front of a moving vehicle. You could go to the doctor with a pain and be diagnosed with something very serious. It's a matter of time before all of us really experience a temporary or a long-term disability. Opening our hearts and our minds is a lot more difficult, and people need to be aware of how they react. People automatically talk loud to people in wheelchairs. That can be just as insulting as saying no. People are not always welcoming of individuals with disabilities to their home or their workplace. And I think, again, that's due to fear. The sheer numbers, if you look at people with disabilities in our country, any of us could be exposed to a disability. If we don't have one ourselves, be exposed. 1 in 88 children this year will be diagnosed with autism. So you are going to know someone with autism or someone who has a child or a grandchild with autism. 1 out of 26 of us will experience epilepsy in our lifetime. We'll have a seizure. Those are big numbers, and those are numbers people need to be aware of, and they need to open their mind a little bit, and instead of saying, no, we won't help you, no, you can't be part of it, they need to say, what can we do to facilitate that? How can we help you be part of this? If they had asked at the nail salon, could the young lady sit up? Can we put a pillow under her hand? Any of those kinds of adaptations or accommodations, it would have been a much different story and wouldn't have made Facebook.
Thank you, Lisa, for that interview. Moving on tonight, in just 3 days, the second annual Miss Greater Hazelton Scholarship Program will take place at the Hazelton Area High School. The program is an official preliminary to the Miss America and Miss America's Outstanding Teen. The winners advance to the Miss Pennsylvania and Miss Pennsylvania Outstanding Teen Scholarship competitions in June. SSPTV is proud to have our very own Sam Lassant Sr. and Janine Mazur-Kevich serve as Masters of Ceremonies for the event, and we had the chance to talk with representatives from Humboldt Industrial Supply in Hazelton and Dennis R. Moore and Associates, the primary sponsors for Saturday's scholarship program.
Well, this is the second year that we were sponsors, and we just like to give back to the community
And you'd like to see the girls winning
Right,
scholarship
absolutely.
money that could go on to the Miss America organization.
Yes, absolutely. So we pride ourselves in sponsoring events like this and giving back to the community.
This is one of many events that we sponsor throughout the community, and just feel it's important to give back for the scholarships that are out there, because that's important to further one's education. That's one of the most important things that you could give to someone is the ability to continue learning.
SSPTV is also the sponsor of the beautiful crowns, while are the official and they are also official crowns of the Miss America organization. You are cordially invited to attend the Miss Greater Hazelton Scholarship Program this Saturday at 6 p.m. at the Hazelton Area High School. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. Tickets are available here at our studios and also at Trauma in Motion, and they will also be sold at the door the night of the event. Well, it's Dave Day here on FYI, and the Standard Speaker sports editor Dave Seaman is here to talk about a column he wrote for Wednesday's paper and a letter to the editor that he received. And when we come right back, we'll once again ask, what's the sense with Janine and Tamara? Home decorating tips are coming your way very soon.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazelton Standard Speaker.
We're saving you money each week on Wednesdays with What's the Sense. We're at a consignment shop here in Hazelton. Their family name, the Maddens, have been known. They've been here, and their history has held great respect in Greater Hazelton. Yes, the shop, too, located on Broad Street, and also they have their first location is located right behind the castle. I still call it the Castle on the Hill. So if you know where the Castle on the Hill is, you'll know where the shop 2 is. Tomorrow's back because we're talking about some items here, and she likes to play around with history and funky things.
Right, and you have no clue about this one.
I'm
Absolutely,
like,
I
vinyl
love
records.
Music.
What's that?
My father was a musician,
right,
and music has been in my family for a long time. And when I walked in here and saw there's a flute here,
are you gonna play it?
Not right now.
Come on.
But I took the flute.
I did too.
I was like, oh my God, there's a flute. But she has everything in here, like we said, all kinds, like furniture, all different types of.
A Rolodex?
Yeah.
I mean, what's this?
Well, this is the exciting thing. It's vinyl. Now,
I'm so excited. Are you?
Now listen to this. She doesn't connect with vinyl. Well, you
Okay.
don't, because I do have almost 10 years on you. Today, everybody downloads, listens on the radio. Well, we had the radio too. But vinyl.
Your TV in black and white?
Almost. But it all started with a vinyl record player. And I actually have mine. It's an old Colonial, and all I need is a needle for it. But this all went away. When I was little, we would get these, and there was such an attachment to this.
Right.
I'll never forget Pat Benatar and Loverboy. My mom would scream, "Shut that down!" And we didn't have the sound quality like
Right.
we do today, but they do say that the vinyl had the best quality of sound.
I just remembered something because my mom will be like, "You had vinyl." My brother and I had this little record player when we were real tiny. I remember because it had like little baby doll faces on it. But I remember if you put the needle on wrong, then you would scratch. If you scratch the vinyl, then your music was
Yeah,
gone.
It was gone.
You couldn't listen to it.
It wasn't that Fisher Price thing with the real bumps on it.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, but vinyl is back.
Yes.
They are now bringing them back with, I've seen them at Barnes and Noble, the newer ones, but it's exciting. I mean, this whole music section
And the
she
polka,
has here,
that's big around here.
everything. Yeah, she has the polka, she has the vinyl, she has a saxophone.
I love it.
She has an accordion.
Yep.
This is just vintage here, but this is all coming back. And I'm excited.
Yes, so stop in the shop too on Broad Street. Again, look for the pretty flowers outside.
And she does buy them. So
Yeah, they look
you
beautiful.
can sell them here. I really, that's going to be my new thing to bring that back. We'll
I
have
can't
vinyl
wait.
record night.
I want to see us run into vinyl records. All right, next week we are going to save you more money as we look at more of the historical side of the items here at the shop too.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
Well, our beautiful March continues in the northeast region of the Keystone State. I'm being really hard on the month of March, but I'm hoping the pressure I'm putting on will cause Mother Nature to take it easy on us. It's not working. Here's our forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight, snow and a low around 13 degrees. Wind gusts as high as 21 miles per hour. We can get 2 inches of snow overnight. On the extended forecast, more snow on Thursday, mainly before 2 p.m. It will be cloudy and our high will be 14 degrees with a wind chill of -1. It's a possibility for another 2 inches of snow. On Thursday night, mostly cloudy and then clearing up, our low around 1, but the wind chill will feel like -13. Friday will be sunny with a high near 18 degrees. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 10. Saturday, mostly sunny. We will get above freezing at 33. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low of 20. And then Sunday looks beautiful, mostly sunny with a high near 36. Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low of 20 degrees. Tonight's weather is brought to you by Boyer Insurance Agency. They have 2 locations to serve you, one in Cunningham on Sugarloaf Avenue and one in Nescapec on Broad Street. Call them in Cunningham at 570-788-3543 and in Nescapec at 570-752-7689. Emmanuel Christian School offers small class sizes and a family atmosphere for students from kindergarten to 12th grade, according to the principal, Paul Miller. I thought it was cool that Miller was the one shoveling out front for his students this morning in Hazleton. They have an open house coming up on Tuesday, March 10th. Here's Miller talking about the school. And I wanted to ask you, it's your first year of principal. Yeah. What have you liked so far? What's impressed you with the school?
Emmanuel Christian School is just a fantastic school. When I think of the school, I think of the word community. We really have a community here that's unique. I worked in public schools, and I love the public school system. But working here, there's just something special about the way families support the school, the way the students interact among themselves. It's just been really, really encouraging and exciting just to see, just that community mindset and how that really affects the day-to-day operations of a school.
And did you say you went here?
I did. I attended here from 2nd grade to 7th grade, and the neat thing is some of the teachers that are teaching here I had. So it's been pretty interesting dynamic being the principal with teachers that were my teachers, when I was younger, and it's just been really neat working with them, and just amazing how God works all those things out, and just being able to talk with them and interact with them, and how they've almost been a mentor in some ways. And I think I've been able to bring in some new ideas with technology and new things that I think the school needs. And I think it's exciting meshing that wisdom mixed in with some of these new, getting us in the 21st century is really what we're trying to do. I think that's been what I'm really trying to push. So it's been really exciting to see both of those things meshing together.
If you are interested in the open house, just call the school so they can get a schedule for you. You'll be able to sit in on classes and talk with Miller and the head of the school. And if you can't make it, Miller says you can call the school for a guided tour. The open house runs pretty much the whole school day. All right, we're going to take a break, but before we do, here's your green screen. The midday winning Pennsylvania lottery numbers: pick 201, pick 3 642, pick 4 2997, and pick 5 66068. Come back for Dave Day on FYI.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
Dave Seaman is back with us, the sports editor from the Standard Speaker. It is Dave Day. And Dave, before we jump in, I want to talk about a column Dave had in on Wednesday's paper. Very interesting stuff about some action up at what is now the Lackawanna College Student Union building. But first, let's talk about the MMI Preppers boys basketball team. Dave, I covered the game on Friday night. I thought it was interesting after Coach Joe Flanagan was very proud of his team, but did not seem happy with second place. Not just complacent to say, hey, you know, we've made it here. It's been 2 years in a row. Really seems like he wants to get over that hump and get this district title for MMI.
Yeah, I think that's a sign of how far the Preppers have come. They used to be happy to be in the playoffs and maybe win a game, steal a game somewhere along the line. But when you get to the district final now and you're losing games, again, that's a sign that the program has made some strides under Joe Flanagan. A lot of good players. He had a lot of good senior players this year, namely Corey Rogers. And I think Joe thought maybe they could get a little bit more out of the season.
And Dave's column was all about, well, I guess started because Hazleton area, the boys basketball team played this weekend up in Scranton at the former Scranton CYC. Dave, you covered the game out there. I thought it was interesting. You said your first event you saw there was wrestling. I think I saw wrestling there as well. I was terrified of all the wrestlers. I was very young. Let's start with the Hazleton area game. Hazleton area comes back in this one, but just comes up short as Abington Heights makes a big run in that fourth quarter. But overall, not a bad season for the Cougars with 20 wins.
No, I think Coach Mike Joseph, if it takes time to look back at the season, he's going to reflect on a season where they lost a bunch of players from last year, most of their offense, most of their defense. He had to start from scratch basically with the team that their only returning starter, Reynald Santana, didn't even play the whole season. So they were starting new. To get 20 wins out of the season, they played a very difficult schedule. A lot of teams they played advanced into the district playoffs. Milton, Scranton Prep. Of course, Crestwood was very good until getting upset in the playoffs, Abington Heights. So there were some strong teams on their schedule. And the Cougars were able to win 20 games. They were able to win their own holiday tournament this year. A lot of positives. They got to the championship game in both the Wyoming Valley Conference and District 2. And those are going to be building blocks for Coach Joseph in the future.
Dave, I thought it was interesting in your column you wrote about, I think, your dad going to a game up at the old CYC, and that it was packed, like almost 4,000 people there. Ron Marchetti, right below your column, had an editor, he wrote to the editor, which is you, about the support at this game and how it was really non-existent when it came to maybe students being at the game. And you don't want to always criticize it. It just seems like it happens in spurts now. Like at Crestwood games, you'll see a ton of people there and a lot of support. You think it's just different times? There's more to do now? I mean, how do you see these crowds and the evolution of the support for high school sports? And obviously it's big in the area because we have jobs. We know people care about high school sports in this area. They are passionate about it. They always ask about the Cougars. But when it comes to coming out to the games, what do you think has changed?
I really don't know. It's a hard question to answer. It's just the support has always been there. Is there a connection with the players anymore? A lot of these players do come up through the ranks from junior high, from the elementary programs to the junior high programs, freshman basketball. People have followed them through little leagues, so they should be familiar with the names. Again, it's a matter of I don't know. It's a hard thing to figure out because I could remember going to those games when there were 3,500 to 4,000 people at a game, and there's a lot of excitement there. Actually, I was talking to Will Hierro, one of the players from last year's Cougar team, and we were talking about that. And he's a newcomer to the area, and he was interested to know what happened in the past, how about the crowds, and he got a little bit of taste of that last year during that Chester game when that excitement level was high, that postseason high, the March Madness, so to speak. It could come back, but it's just got to take some consistency over the long haul from the crowd and the fan base, because you know the team's going to win. The team has proven it could win over the long haul, and I'm looking forward to the future because I think there's a lot of good days ahead, and I think that these kids would feed off the energy of the hometown, the community, the fans, and the student body too.
There's a lot to be proud of in our area, all around our area, and specifically with sports. Dave, we appreciate your opinions as always and hope to see you again next week. It's Wednesday, and here's some delicious alliteration. It's signature steak night at Bottlenecks. All of their signature steaks are only $9.95 plus bottomless soup and salad for only $2.95.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, Hazleton Trinity Lutheran Church, located at Church and Hemlock Streets, will be holding a spring craft fair Saturday, March 7th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Breakfast and lunch will be served all day, plus they have great crafters and vendors. For info, just call 570-454-3492, extension 4, 9, or 10. And finally, Holy Trinity Orthodox Church, located South Kennedy Drive in McAdoo, will be having a pierogi and halushki sale Friday, March 6th from 10 a.m. to 5:30. Call ahead, orders are greatly appreciated. Call 570-929-2179. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. George Leshko Jr. of Harley. Funeral is Friday at 10:30 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Friends may call Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. Bevelyn Abreu Rosario of Hazleton. Arrangements are under the direction of the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Phyllis R. Culp of Dublin, Ohio. Services Saturday at 11 a.m. in the Cunningham United Methodist Church. Friends may call at the church from 10 to 11 a.m. The Harmon Funeral Home is assisting the family with the arrangements. Dolores Demko, formerly of Hazleton. Mass is Friday at 1 p.m. at the Holy Cross Catholic Church in Mesa, Arizona. Lorraine A. McFarland of Freeland. The McNulty Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. And Mary L. Smith of West Hazleton. Arrangements will be announced by the Hazel Chapel of the Cropton Hughes Funeral Home.
I'm Julie Ferry. I am the Public Relations Coordinator for FunFest, and today we're going to talk about our upcoming Poets Concert. Normally we've done our Poets Concert as a kickoff to FunFest weekend, the Friday before FunFest. However, this year we're doing something a little new and different. We are having it as a kickoff to the 6 months before FunFest event. We'll also be unveiling our logo for this year at the event, and this year we're going to be having it at a new location, at the Genetti Ballrooms. The event will be held on Sunday, March the 8th. The concert starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and the doors open at 1. It's a great band. They do a lot of great music from the 50s, 60s, 70s. They're a great band to dance to. We'll have table seating at the event, so there'll be plenty of room for everyone to sit down and enjoy some of the refreshments that will be available for purchase. Kick up your heels on the dance floor if you'd like to. And if you're interested in tickets, you can get them here at the Chamber office, at Metallo's Formalware, or the Genetti Catering office. You can also order them online through the Chamber website, hazletonchamber.org.
Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now on News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is John Petrilla of Hazel Township. John, if you're watching, give us a call right now, 570-455-7267, extension 104.
Russ Kanzler is at spring training with the Philadelphia Phillies. He got a hit as the Phillies took on a college team over the weekend. Today he was 0 for 1 as he came in as a designated hitter in the Phillies' 3-1 victory over the Yankees. That's it for FYI tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone.